Thank you. Thanks to the One-to-One community for hosting a great event. I'm presenting on behalf of Tim Goyder, our Managing Director today. Tim's lost his voice, no doubt, from overuse. So, Chalice Gold Mines. We are dual-listed ASX, TSX, and we think we're a high-reward, low-risk opportunity. And there's a couple of reasons we say that. We have a very strong exploration portfolio centred on Canada. And we're trading at negative 3 million enterprise value as of close today. We're not your typical junior explorer. We have 46 million in cash and liquid investments as of the end of 2017. So we are not the typical cash-strapped junior. We're a little bit different. We have an experienced team. We have a team in Perth as well as in Quebec to advance our projects. And we've got a long history of delivering value all the way back to 2006. We've monetised projects for net proceeds of over 100 million. This is our portfolio. First, on the exploration side, we have two high-profile projects in Canada. So we're going a little bit against the grain here at Indaba. We're not based in Africa. We're based in Canada and Australia, Tier 1 jurisdictions. Our mainstay projects, the East Cadillac Gold Project, we've got 16 kilometres of strike on the Lake Larder Cadillac Fault, about 35 kilometres east of Val-d'Or. And our earlier stage project, the Kennebec Gold Project, covers 30 kilometres of strike along the Casa Berardi Fault. That's in the prolific Abitibi Greenstone Belt in Quebec. I've also got an early stage project in Australia and Northern Territory looking for IOCG-style deposits. This is essentially what we're up to at the moment. We're highly active. We've got 5 rigs drilling 30,000 metre exploration program. And as I said, we're trading a negative EV. So it's a very easy and cheap way to get involved in exploration. On our East Cadillac ground, we spent the last essentially 18 months consolidating. And we did a real ground-up program back to basics. We did a full sampling, followed by IP, LiDAR and Aeromag, so full geophysics suite. And we started drilling in the fourth quarter of last year. We drilled with 2 diamond rigs, 7,700 metres. And a couple of weeks ago, we added 2 rigs to the property for a total essentially close to 30,000 metres. And we're full swing in that program at the moment. The Kennebec project, a little bit earlier stage, we're drilling the first ever holes on that property at the moment. The flagship East Cadillac and Kennebec projects, located in the prolific Abitibi Belt, as I mentioned. If you don't know it, it's one of the best gold belts in the world, circa 210 million ounces of endowment. We're on the eastern end of the Cadillac break. In that area alone, over 100 million ounces, and we cover 16 kilometres of strike on that belt. Kennebec sits about 150 kilometres north and includes 30 kilometres of strike along the Casa Berardi Fault, so about 150 kilometres east of Hecla Mining's Casa Berardi 6 million ounce deposit. So it's Tier 1 jurisdiction. Quebec, it's a very mining-friendly jurisdiction, very well established, obviously, great infrastructure access, and on top of that, you get a 30% refund on all your direct exploration spend from the government in a cheque. So it doesn't get much better than that, and it's a bit of a who's who around us down here at East Cadillac. So we are on strike with some of the major Canadian mining companies like Agnico, Yamana, Eldorado, and the eastern portion of the belt is highly active at the moment. So we're drilling 30,000 metres, as I mentioned. Cartier Resources there. They hold, we're essentially surrounding them. They're 500 metres of strike, and they're drilling 20,000 metres. Probe Metals to our west, drilling 85 kilometres, following on from 83 kilometres last year. So there's a lot of activity in the region. This, we think, is an anomaly. So this is enterprise value of some of our neighbours that I showed on the previous slide there, like Alexandria, Probe, Cartier. Chalice is sitting at negative 3, and Cartier around about 30, and you can see some of our other neighbours at much higher than that. The Sigma Lamaque deposit held by Integra until May was a circa 1 million ounce reserve. purchased for 590 million Canadian. So we're hopeful that we can emulate that success. This is a little bit about of our program, detailing where our 4 diamond rigs are drilling at the moment. We're drilling through the winter field season, so the ground is frozen at the moment. Gives us great access. You can see Cartier Resources ground there, covering about 500 metres of strike. They have a historical mine on their property, historical production of about 380,000 ounces at a grade of about 6 grams per tonne. And so, largely the historical work on this block is focused around the main fault structure, the Lake Larder Cadillac fault running through the centre of the property there. Largely shallow exploration, but some proven mineralisation. We've identified, after our real ground-up program, we've identified targets on the hanging wall to the north and the footwall to the south that are almost entirely untested. And the same geology hosts deposits like Canadian Malarctic on the footwall, which is a greater than 10 million ounce open pit resource at roughly 1.5 grams. And Sigma Lamac, which I mentioned was bought by Eldorado last year, about 9 million ounces, also some distance on a perpendicular structure to the north. So we're very hopeful and we're very excited about drilling on this ground for obvious reasons. We've actually got a 5th rig drilling at the Kennebec project. It just wrapped up today. We cover 30 kilometres of Casa Berardi strike in an area with known gold deposits, including the Dewey deposit a short distance to the west at 3 million ounces. Essentially zero exploration done on this work before we acquired and pegged it 100%. And we did some geochem work in 2017 as well as some IP. And we're testing those anomalies now with the first ever drilling on this ground. So that's, I guess, our exploration focus in Canada. I guess the team at Chalice has done this before, so we've got a track record of acquiring, developing, and then monetising projects like this. As I mentioned, we've generated net proceeds of roughly 107 million Australian, built on the back of really the Zara Gold project. It was mentioned in the last presentation. Divested for 114 million US in 2012, and then in 2016 we divested the Cameron Lake Gold project to First Mining Finance for 25 million Australian. So that leaves us with our strong balance sheet of 46 million in cash and liquids as of year end. The Zara deal really demonstrated our credentials in Africa as well, so we are on the lookout for deals and acquisitions. We have a team essentially full-time in Perth looking for BD opportunities. So our target at the moment is gold, nickel, really the base metals and precious metals in the advanced exploration stage. This is a summary of our capital position. Essentially, we're cashed up and debt-free. You can see the cash at year end of 43 million Australian. Our liquid equity investments, we hold some minority stakes in some ASX-listed gold juniors totalling 3 million. And our enterprise value that was at the end of the year was 2 million. Now it's as of close -3. So we are easily the cheapest entry point, you could argue, into the Abitibi belt, one of the most prolific gold belts in the world. Our managing director holds 17%, so a majority stake. Franklin Resources from San Francisco holding 12%. And our Toronto listing is sitting at about 9% of our register, so growing over time as well. So in summary, that's a very, very quick summary of Chalice, but essentially we're aggressively drilling, exploring. We're drilling 30,000 metres with 5 rigs in one of the best gold postcodes in the world, in a tier 1 mining jurisdiction. We're essentially protected from downside with our cash position, our balance sheet, at trading at now negative EV, exposed to favourable conditions expected in 2018, and we have the technical and commercial team to execute on our strategy. So thank you very much, and for further information you can reach out to us, also see us on social media channels. Thank you.